first ever transgender athlete to win a Division I national championship.
Some of the biggest names on TV are sharing their real-life stories of transformation.
A generation of Americans grew up watching her on her parents' television show. She is now in the process of switching genders.
These aren't special effects. They're personal journeys of becoming who they truly are. From punk rock stages to glitzy red carpets, these stars are changing how we think about gender and identity. They're proving that being true to yourself can be the most powerful performance of all. What can we learn from these celebrities' courage to be themselves? How might their stories help others who are questioning their own identities? Join us as we explore famous celebrities who underwent gender transition. Number 10. Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner's life reads like a Hollywood script, filled with triumphs, challenges, and a stunning personal transformation. Born as William Bruce Jenner in 1949, she would go on to become one of the most recognizable faces in American culture. Growing up, she faced the hurdle of dyslexia, a learning disorder that makes reading difficult. But this early setback didn't hold her back. Instead, she channeled her energy into athletics, excelling in various sports. Jenner's path to Olympic stardom wasn't straightforward. Initially, a college football player, a knee injury forced her to pivot. Enter the decathlon, a grueling test of athletic versatility comprising 10 track and field events. This twist of fate would change everything. For 6 years, Jenner dedicated herself to mastering the decathlon. The hard work paid off spectacularly at the 1976 Montreal Olympics. Not only did Jenner win gold, but she also set a world record, cementing her status as an American sports legend. Post-Olympics, Jenner leveraged her fame into a diverse career. She graced magazine covers, appeared in movies and TV shows, tried her hand at auto racing, and became a successful entrepreneur. Jenner's ability to reinvent herself would become a recurring theme. Her personal life is as complex as her career. She's been married 3 times and has 6 children. But it was her marriage to Kris Jenner that thrust her into a new level of celebrity. From 2007 to 2021, Jenner was a key figure in Keeping Up with the Kardashians. This hit show turned Jenner and the entire Kardashian-Jenner clan into household names. Viewers watched as Kendall and Kylie, Jenner's daughters with Kris, grew up on screen alongside their step-siblings Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, and Rob. In 2015, Jenner made headlines worldwide by coming out as transgender. She introduced herself as Caitlyn, becoming arguably the most famous trans woman on the planet. Her journey of self-discovery was documented in I Am Kate, a show that gave viewers an intimate look at her transition. Jenner's coming out was a watershed moment for trans visibility. She's since become an outspoken advocate for transgender rights. However, her views haven't always aligned with other LGBTQ+ activists, sparking debates within the community. Never one to shy away from the spotlight, Jenner made a bold move into politics in 2021. She ran as a Republican in California's gubernatorial recall election. While she finished 13th, collecting only 1% of the vote, the campaign further cemented her status as a cultural lightning rod. Her journey from Olympian to reality TV star to transgender icon to political candidate showcases her knack for reinvention. Today, she continues to make waves as a contributor on Fox News, proving that even in her 70s, she remains a fascinating and controversial figure in American life. Caitlyn's journey captivated millions, but another star was quietly making waves in Hollywood. From TV screens to red carpets, this actress wasn't just playing a role, she was changing the status quo for transgender representation. Which groundbreaking performer was this? And how did her work pave the way for greater inclusivity in the entertainment industry? Let's find out. Number 9. Laverne Cox. Laverne Cox's journey from a small town in Alabama to the glittering lights of Hollywood is nothing short of inspiring. Born in 1972, Cox faced challenges early on, growing up as a transgender child in the conservative South. Despite attempting self-harm at age 11 due to bullying and confusion about her identity, Cox's resilience would ultimately lead her to become a trailblazing figure in entertainment and LGBTQ+ advocacy. With her appearance on the hit Netflix series Orange is the New Black, her portrayal of Sophia Bursay, a transgender inmate, wasn't just critically acclaimed, it was historic. Cox became the first openly transgender person to be nominated for an acting Emmy, shattering a glass ceiling that had stood for decades. But Cox wasn't content with just one first. She went on to become the first trans woman to win a daytime Emmy as an executive producer, the first trans person to appear on the cover of Time magazine, and the first openly trans person to have a wax figure at Madame Tussauds. She's produced shows like Transform Me, making her the first African-American trans person to produce and star in her own TV show. She's also a powerful voice for transgender rights, using her platform to educate and advocate. In 2013, Laverne Cox landed a role that would change her life and make television history. She was cast as Sophia Bursay, a transgender inmate in the hit Netflix series Orange is the New Black. This wasn't just another acting job, it was a chance to bring a fully realized transgender character to mainstream audiences. Cox recognized the power of this opportunity. She said, "Sophia is written as a multidimensional character who the audience can empathize with." This was groundbreaking. Suddenly, viewers were connecting with a transgender character in a way they never had before. The impact of Cox's performance was seismic. In 2014, she made history as the first transgender person to grace the cover of Time magazine. The cover declared the transgender tipping point, signaling a major shift in visibility and acceptance. That same year, Cox broke another barrier. She became the first openly transgender person nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award in an acting category. This nomination wasn't just a personal triumph, it was a milestone for the entire transgender community. Cox's influence extends far beyond Hollywood. She's become a powerful voice for transgender rights, using her platform to educate and advocate. Her peers in the LGBTQ+ community have hailed her as a trailblazer, opening doors and changing perceptions. The accolades kept coming. Cox became the first transgender person to have a wax figure at Madame Tussauds, and the first transgender woman to win a daytime Emmy as an executive producer. In 2016, she received an honorary doctorate from the New School in New York City, recognizing her work fighting for gender equality. Through her acting, activism, and sheer presence in the public eye, Laverne Cox has sparked crucial conversations about transgender issues, intersectionality, and representation in the media. She's living proof that visibility matters and that one person's story can help change the world. Number 8. Elliot Page. Elliot Page's story is one of transformation, courage, and using one's platform for positive change. Born in 1987 in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Page's path to stardom began early, but his most significant journey was one of personal identity. Page first caught Hollywood's attention with powerful performances in films like Juno, earning an Academy Award nomination. But behind the scenes, Page was grappling with questions of identity and In 2014, Page took a brave step by coming out as gay at a human rights campaign conference. This moment of openness was just the beginning. Page became a vocal advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, using his celebrity status to shine a light on important issues. But Page's journey of self-discovery wasn't over. On December 1, 2020, he shared another truth with the world. He was transgender. Page announced his new name, Elliot, and his use of he/they pronouns. This announcement sent waves through Hollywood and beyond, with countless fans and fellow celebrities offering their support. Page's transition wasn't just personal, it was groundbreaking. He became the first openly trans man to grace the cover of Time magazine, a powerful moment of visibility for the trans community. In the article, Page opened up about his lifelong feeling of being a boy and described his top surgery as life-saving. Number 7. Chaz Bono. Imagine growing up as the only child of two of the biggest pop stars in the world. That was Chaz Bono's life. Born in 1969 to Sonny and Cher, Chaz started life in the spotlight as Chastity, a cute kid who often appeared on his parents' hit TV variety show. But behind the glitz and glamour, a complex journey of self-discovery was waiting to unfold. From a young age, Chaz felt different. At 13, he finally found a word for why he felt so out of place. He was gay. This realization was just the beginning of a lifelong journey to understand and express his true identity. Coming out as a lesbian at 18 was Chaz's first big step. But it wasn't until 1995, at the age of 26, that he publicly came out in an interview with The Advocate, a well-known LGBTQ+ magazine. This moment changed everything for Chaz. As he wrote in his book Family Outing, "Coming out catapulted me into a political role that has transformed my life, providing me with affirmation as a lesbian, as a woman, and as an individual." Chaz's coming out wasn't easy on his famous family. His mom, Cher, ironically a gay icon herself, surprisingly went ballistic at first. But Cher's initial shock didn't last long. Within a year, she had not only accepted her child's identity, but had become an outspoken LGBTQ+ rights activist herself. She even appeared on the cover of The Advocate, proudly supporting her lesbian daughter. Meanwhile, Chaz's relationship with his father, Sonny, took a different turn. When Sonny became a Republican congressman from California, their differing political views created a rift. Tragically, they hadn't spoken for over a year when Sonny died in a skiing accident in 1998. After coming out, Chaz didn't just sit back. He became a powerful voice for LGBTQ+ rights, working with major organizations like the Human Rights Campaign and GLAAD. But the biggest change in Chaz's life was yet to come. In 2008, at the age of 39, Chaz realized that lesbian woman didn't fully describe who he was. He was, in fact, a transgender man. This realization kicked off a challenging but liberating process of transition. He began physically and socially transitioning from female to male, changing his name to Chaz, and legally becoming male in 2010. Chaz didn't keep his transition private. Instead, he used it as an opportunity to educate and inspire others. He made a documentary called Becoming Chaz about his experience, which premiered at the prestigious Sundance Film Festival and later aired on Oprah Winfrey's network. He also wrote a book titled Transition: Becoming Who I Was Always Meant to Be, becoming the first person of Armenian descent to publish a memoir about being an openly transgender man. Throughout his life, Chaz has continued to be a voice for the LGBTQ+ community. In 2016, he participated in a Human Rights Campaign video honoring the victims of the Orlando nightclub shooting, showing his ongoing commitment to fighting for equality and acceptance. Number 6. Hunter Schaefer. Born on the last day of 1998, Hunter Schaefer's journey to stardom is as unique as it is inspiring. Growing up in a family led by a Presbyterian minister, Schaefer's childhood was marked by moves across different states, finally settling in Raleigh, North Carolina. From an early age, Schaefer felt a disconnect between her assigned gender and her true identity. She came out as gay in 7th grade, but soon realized this didn't fully capture her experience. By 9th grade, Schaefer bravely came out as a transgender girl and began her transition.
She identified as a girl from an early age. All along her transformation from boy to girl, she had to overcome many obstacles before becoming a serial iconic actress and role model for many.
But Schaefer's impact extends far beyond her journey. At just 17, she became the youngest plaintiff in a landmark lawsuit against North Carolina's controversial bathroom bill. This law aimed to restrict transgender individuals from using bathrooms matching their gender identity. Schaefer's involvement helped lead to the bill's repeal, marking an early victory in her fight for trans rights. Schaefer's activism caught the eye of major publications. She penned a powerful essay for Teen Vogue, shedding light on the struggles faced by transgender youth. Her efforts landed her on the magazine's 21 Under 21 list, even scoring her an interview with Hillary Clinton. Hunter Schaefer's journey to fame is as colorful as her artwork. From a young age, she showed a talent for visual arts, especially watercolor painting. This artistic flair soon led her to fashion design, where she combined creativity with activism, creating clothes with powerful messages. Schaefer's unique style caught the eye of major publications like Huffington Post, and her Instagram became a showcase for her diverse talents. She even contributed illustrations and essays to the online magazine Rookie, proving her skills extended beyond the visual arts. Her academic achievements were equally impressive. Schaefer attended the prestigious North Carolina School of the Arts and became a semifinalist in the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program, a major honor for any high school student. As Schaefer's career took off, she navigated the complexities of identity in the public eye. While proud of her transgender identity, she expressed a desire to move beyond labels and just be a girl. This stance led her to turn down numerous trans-specific roles, choosing instead to broaden her acting repertoire. Schaefer's personal life has also been in the spotlight. She's been open about her evolving describing herself as bi or pan or something. Her relationship with Spanish singer Rosalía made headlines, as did her later romance with Euphoria co-star Dominic Fike. Never one to shy away from controversy, Schaefer found herself at the center of online debates about trans identity and representation. She used these moments to clarify her views and advocate for marginalized groups within the LGBTQ+ community. In early 2024, she was arrested at a protest in New York City, advocating for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas conflict. This bold move demonstrated her commitment to using her platform for broader social justice causes. Number 5. Chaz Jennings. Chaz Jennings' story begins in Florida, where she was born in the year 2000. From an incredibly young age, Chaz knew she was different. Despite being assigned male at birth, she made it clear as soon as she could speak that she was a girl. By age 4, Chaz was diagnosed with gender dysphoria, making her one of the youngest publicly documented transgender individuals. Chaz's journey into the public eye began in 2000 and with a groundbreaking interview on 2020 with Barbara Walters. This catapulted her into the national spotlight, making her a pioneer for transgender visibility. As one activist noted, she was the first young person who picked up the national spotlight, went on TV, and was able to articulate her perspective and point of view with such innocence. But Chaz didn't stop at just sharing her story. She became an active force for change by co-founding the Trans Kids Purple Rainbow Foundation to help other transgender youth, creating Purple Rainbow Tales, a company selling mermaid tales to raise money for trans children, and starring in her own YouTube series and TLC reality show, both titled I Am Chaz. Chaz's openness extended to discussions about her sexuality and romantic life. She's described herself as pan loving people for their personalities, regardless of gender or orientation. She's also been candid about her desire to become a mother someday. In 2018, Chaz underwent gender reassignment surgery, a major milestone in her transition. She's been open about the challenges she faced, including the need to lose weight before the procedure and complications that required additional surgery. Chaz has also bravely shared her struggles with mental health and body image issues, including binge eating disorder. Despite these challenges, she graduated as valedictorian from her high school and was accepted to Harvard University. Throughout her journey, Chaz has remained a beacon of hope and authenticity for the LGBTQ+ community.
Chaz Jennings is a YouTube star, spokesmodel, TV personality, and LGBTQ rights activist who is most notable for being one of the youngest publicly documented people to identify as transgender.
From a child who simply knew who she was to a young adult activist changing hearts and minds, Chaz Jennings continues to push for acceptance and understanding in a world that's still learning to embrace diverse gender identities. While Chaz inspired a new generation, another trans story was unfolding behind the camera. Meet the Wachowski sisters, whose journey to personal authenticity would shock and inspire Hollywood. How did their transition impact their filmmaking, and what ripple effects did it have on representation in the broader entertainment industry? Number 4. The Wachowski siblings. Lana and Lily Wachowski, born Larry and Andy respectively, are two of the most innovative filmmakers of our time. Their journey from Chicago's South Side to Hollywood royalty is as groundbreaking as their films. Growing up in a creative household with a nurse-painter mother and a businessman father, the sisters showed early signs of their future success. They were Dungeons & Dragons enthusiasts and active in their high school's theater program, early indications of their storytelling prowess. The Wachowskis' path to filmmaking wasn't direct. After dropping out of college, they ran a house painting business in Chicago. But their creative spark couldn't be contained. They began writing for Marvel Comics, cutting their teeth on series like Ecto-Kid and Hellraiser. Their directorial debut came in 1996 with Bound, but it was their second film that changed everything. The Matrix wasn't just a box office smash. It revolutionized visual effects and storytelling in cinema. The franchise became a cultural phenomenon, cementing the Wachowskis as visionary directors. But the sisters weren't content to rest on their laurels. They continued pushing boundaries with films like V for Vendetta, Cloud Atlas, and the Netflix series Sense8. Each project showcased their ability to blend mind-bending concepts with stunning visuals. Perhaps their most personal journey has been their gender transitions. Both Lana and Lily came out as transgender women, adding another layer to their already compelling story. They've become important voices in the LGBTQ+ community, using their platform to increase trans visibility in Hollywood. Recently, the sisters have begun working on separate projects. Lily has been involved with the TV series Work in Progress, while Lana returned to the franchise that made them famous with The Matrix Resurrections. In the early 2000s, whispers began circulating about Lana Wachowski, one half of the famous directing duo behind The Matrix. People wondered if Lana, then known as Larry, was transitioning, but the notoriously private Wachowskis stayed silent. The rumor mill churned. In 2003, a website called Gothamist reported on the possible transition, but those close to the Wachowskis denied it. Joel Silver, a producer who worked with them, insisted in 2007 that the rumors were all untrue. He chalked it up to the sisters' reclusiveness. They just don't do interviews, so people make things up. The truth finally emerged in 2008, after the release of Speed Racer. Lana Wachowski had indeed transitioned. By 2010, the entertainment world had caught up, with magazines and newspapers referring to the duo as Andy and Lana Wachowski. Lana's coming out was gradual and on her terms. In July 2012, she made her first public appearance post-transition, discussing Cloud Atlas in a video. This quiet reveal was groundbreaking. Lana became the first major Hollywood director to come out as transgender. Later that year, Lana opened up more in a New Yorker interview. She shared a poignant memory from third grade, where she instinctively felt she belonged in the girls' line at her Catholic school. This small moment spoke volumes about her lifelong journey with gender identity. October 2012 marked a significant milestone. Lana received the Human Rights Campaign's Visibility Award, using her acceptance speech to share her struggles. She revealed that as a youth, she had contemplated self-harm due to confusion about her gender identity. This deeply personal admission sheds light on the challenges many transgender individuals face. Lana also explained why she and her sister had kept quiet for so long. It wasn't a shame, far from it. The Wachowskis simply valued their privacy. Lana compared media exposure to losing one's virginity, a one-time, irreversible event. They feared losing the ability to live normal lives, free from the constant scrutiny that comes with celebrity. In a surprising turn of events, Lily Wachowski, one half of the famous filmmaking duo behind The Matrix, revealed she was transgender in 2016. This came after her sister Lana had already come out as trans a few years earlier. Lily's announcement wasn't entirely on her own terms. A nosy reporter from a British newspaper tried to pressure her into an interview about her transition. Instead of giving in, Lily decided to tell her story her way. She spoke to a friendly local paper in Chicago, sharing her journey and the challenges faced by trans people. Lily didn't sugarcoat things. She acknowledged how lucky she was to have a supportive family and enough money for proper health care. Many trans folks aren't so fortunate, and Lily pointed out that some don't survive due to a lack of support and resources. Just weeks after coming out, Lily made her first big public appearance at an awards show for LGBTQ+ representation in the media. Her Netflix show Sense8 won a major award, and Lily used the spotlight to speak about her experience. She admitted she felt no pressure to attend, but wanted to use the moment to make a statement. Number 3. Laura Jane Grace. Laura Jane Grace's story is a whirlwind of music, rebellion, and self-discovery. Born into a military family, Grace's childhood was marked by constant movement, from Georgia to Texas, Pennsylvania to Germany, and even Italy during the Gulf War. At just 8 years old, Grace found her calling. With money saved from mowing lawns, she bought her first guitar from a Sears catalog. This simple purchase would change her life forever. At 12, her parents went through a bitter divorce. Grace and her brother moved with their mom from Italy to Florida, a culture shock that hit hard. In Naples, Florida, Grace faced relentless bullying. To cope, she turned to alcohol and harmful substances, experimenting with everything from marijuana to LSD by age 13. The teenage years were a blur of substance abuse and rebellion. Grace was arrested for pot possession at 14 and eventually dropped out of high school. But through it all, music remained a constant. In 1997, Grace founded Against Me, a punk rock band that would become her ticket out of small-town Florida. The band's raw energy and politically charged lyrics struck a chord with listeners, propelling them to national fame. But Grace's most revolutionary act was yet to come. In 2012, she publicly came out as transgender, becoming one of the first high-profile punk musicians to do so. This brave step not only transformed her personal life, but sent shockwaves through the music industry. Grace didn't stop there. She launched a solo project, Laura Jane Grace and the Devouring Mothers, and released her debut solo album, Stay Alive, in 2020. Her latest work, Hole in My Head, hit the airwaves in 2024. From her earliest memories, Grace grappled with gender dysphoria, feeling a disconnect between her assigned gender and her true identity. On May 2012, Grace made a decision that would shake the music world. In a groundbreaking interview with Rolling Stone, she came out as transgender. This wasn't just a personal revelation, It was a seismic shift in the punk rock landscape. Grace's announcement was inspired by a chance encounter with a transgender fan, proving that sometimes our biggest moments of courage can be sparked by the bravery of others. Grace's transition wasn't just about changing her name. She chose Laura Jane Grace with purpose. Laura was her mother's choice if she'd been assigned female at birth. Jane because she thought it was pretty, and Grace to honor her mother's maiden name. But the physical changes were just beginning. Grace spoke openly about her plans for hormone therapy and electrolysis, while also expressing honest fears about potential surgeries. Her candor about the transition process was refreshing and raw. Grace didn't shy away from the challenges, describing herself as being in an awkward transition period where she still looked and felt like a dude. But she was determined to live authentically, no matter the obstacles. The punk community rallied around Grace. Musicians, artists, and even a professional wrestler voiced their support. Gilead's president highlighted the importance of Grace's visibility, noting how her courage could open minds and hearts. Grace's transition continued over the years. In 2018, she underwent facial feminization surgery, another step in aligning her outer appearance with her inner self. Through it all, she remained a fierce presence on stage. As she put it, however fierce our band was in the past, imagine me, 6'2", in heels, fucking screaming into someone's face. Number 2. India Moore. Born in 1995 in the Bronx, New York, India had a tough start in life. They're transgender and non-binary, which means they don't fit neatly into the categories of man or woman. India uses they and she when talking about themselves. India's childhood wasn't easy. Their parents didn't understand or accept who they were. At just 14, India had to leave home because of this lack of acceptance. They ended up in foster care, bouncing around all 5 boroughs of New York City. School was hard too. Bullies made life miserable, and India dropped out in 10th grade. But India didn't give up. They started modeling at 15, working for big names like Dior and Gucci. It wasn't always smooth sailing, though. The fashion world can be tough, especially for someone who doesn't fit the usual mold. India sometimes felt like the industry saw them as a risky choice. As time went on, India got tired of the fashion world's obsession with looks. A chance meeting with a dancer named Jose changed everything. He encouraged India to try acting, and suddenly, a new world opened up. India's first movie role was in a film called Saturday Church, which got great reviews. India's big break came with the TV show Pose. They played Angel Evangelista, a character that helped many people understand and relate to transgender experiences. The role made India famous and respected.
You know, deeply ashamed of that for so much of my life, and Angel made me feel more confident.
In 2019, Time magazine even named them one of the 100 most influential people in the world. But fame hasn't made India forget their struggles. They often speak out about the bullying and discrimination they faced growing up. India knows that being seen as a woman in society means dealing with unfair treatment and judgment. They use fashion and their platform to fight back against these prejudices. From the streets of New York to the beaches of Hawaii, our next icon's journey will blow you away. Like India, Janet Mock faced early challenges but turned them into triumphs. What do you think drove Janet to share her story so openly with the world? Let's find out. Number 1. Janet Mock. In the vibrant city of Honolulu, a young Janet Mock dreamed of a life beyond the confines of societal expectations. Born in 1983 to a family with roots spanning African American, Portuguese, Asian, and Native Hawaiian cultures, Janet's story was destined to be one of breaking boundaries. From an early age, Janet knew she was different, not just because of her diverse heritage, but because she felt a deep disconnect between the gender she was assigned at birth and who she truly was inside. This realization set her on a path that would transform not only her life, but the lives of countless others. As a teenager, Janet made the courageous decision to begin her transition. But in a world that often misunderstands and marginalizes transgender individuals, especially those of color, this journey came with its own set of challenges. To fund her medical transition, Janet entered the world of work at just 15 years old. A decision born of necessity that would later inform her advocacy for marginalized communities. Despite the obstacles, Janet's determination never wavered. She excelled in school, played volleyball, and found solace in a community of other trans women who showed her what confidence and self-acceptance could look like. Little did she know that these early experiences were laying the groundwork for a future where she would become a beacon of hope and a voice for change. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting content. Check out another interesting video by clicking on the video appearing on your screen right now.